Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. So big news today, of course, is that Netflix came in and owned their earnings. They had a $10 expected move, and right now after hours they are trading at $120. So if we scroll down on this, we can see that they're going to be opening up. I may have to get a bigger chart. Yeah, we'll have to get a bigger chart. But they're going to be opening up handsomely tomorrow. So, at the 120 level, if we're looking at this, I was just kind of curious, where does that fall just within its range? And you can see here, I mean, that puts it back not at, but certainly nearer all-time highs, and they experienced a lot of, after being downgraded and all this stuff, they just had a lot of growth. I mean, they're adding a lot of subscribers, and so it'll be obviously interesting to see if that momentum continues. But the main thing to keep in mind is that we closed it up basically $100 a share. The expected move was 10, and it's going to open up at 2 times the expected move. Typically in that situation, it just keeps going higher for days. So if you did not bet the farm on the 110 calls just before the close, there is an opportunity, I think, tomorrow to sell puts at the open and take advantage of what could be and should be moves to new highs. Potentially over the next couple of weeks. But just look for, on a move like this, you typically get continued upside momentum for a couple of days. And you can see here that the NASDAQ had a decent response, closed around 47.90, so it did pop up about 15 points. In terms of other stocks, one I'm watching here is Amazon. So Amazon obviously had a great run up to $847. And up at that level, we got an RAF sell signal, ready, aim, fire. And since then, we've dropped, and now we're kind of getting into that support zone. We got Fibonacci retracements coming in here. We got the 21-period moving average. So what I'm waiting for here is an RAF buy signal for the next kind of pivot and turn higher. Okay, and with the earnings a couple of weeks away, we have some opportunities to do some earnings plays now. With Amazon, and all we're sitting there at this point just kind of waiting for that signal. And with that case, then I'd kind of step in and buy some of those Delta 30 calls. So one of the things I was just talking about Amazon. So this is a tool that I use for timing these kind of moves. So you can see right here. So essentially, this is the ADX with the DMI tool, right? And if you see red, essentially, there is no reason to be long, okay? Red just means, hey, you know what? Bears are in control. And then if this ADX goes over 25, it means a slaughter is about to happen, okay? So if you're long, at this moment in time, you want to get out, right? And then if you're aggressive and want to short, you can stay short until the red disappears, right? And all the way into the close today, you can see Amazon was still in sell mode. So that's something where tomorrow, if this goes into positive territory, then I'd look at buying that. And then notice here too that this is not something you can do on an interval chart. You need to do this on a tick chart, specifically the 233 tick for Amazon. And the same thing is true of the markets, overall markets themselves. Now for the NASDAQ futures, what you want is the 512 tick chart, okay? And you're still looking for that maximum over 25 is when the pressure really starts going, okay? So here, it's like, wow, we've got some action going. We got the red, we're above 25. Boom, stay short, stay short, stay short, stay short. And then you can actually, at that point, okay, let's get out, even though it's still got a little bit more wobbling. But then once it goes green and again above 25, stay long, stay long, stay long, stay long until you see red. Okay, and by red, I always like to look for a couple consecutive ones in a row. But what's great about this is, especially when combined with a tick chart, okay, not an interval chart, it allows you to stay on the right side of this market because these markets are starting to turn whippy, okay, and they're going to get worse as we get into the election. Or on the one hand, they're going to get better if you got the right tools like that. So this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing during the live trading portion of the election class, okay? We already had our Saturday class where we described the strategies. Raghi and myself, one of the strategies that I talked about was the one I just showed you. And we're going to be starting to do that stuff live as well as some other stuff. And, again, that one strategy, that's not one I've shown before. I found it to be very, very effective in whippy markets. You just got to make sure you got the right tool and the right tick charts. Now, if you missed the Saturday class, but you're still interested in doing this, you can still, for the $9.97, get the Saturday recording and then get teed up for us for the live trading. Okay, so we're going to be doing the live trading all day on the 18th, which is tomorrow, and all day on the 20th. And part of that is starting to kind of practice our skills with these new strategies and get ready for the election, which I think is going to be very volatile. Okay, and then on the 8th, we're going to be trading 2 sessions, one from 12 to 3, and then another one from 7, and I say to midnight, but it just depends when the election kind of settles down, right? And during the regular session, we're going to be trading options, okay? Options on ETFs, options on stocks. We're going to be also doing some earnings plays because we kind of trade whatever that moves, but we are going to be focusing on kind of these new setups that we talked about on Saturday. But what's going to be fun is the night of the election, things are going to get whippy, and we're going to have the perfect tools in place for that. Now, obviously, that night of the election, we're going to be focusing on futures and Forex simply because the cash session is open. It won't be open, but we'll be doing, again, options on the 8th. And then on the 9th, we're going to trade again all day, and then we'll be doing options, futures, and Forex. Anyway, it is going to be what I would call an elections party. There's going to be some unique volatility, I think, that we're not going to see again in a while, and it's going to get us prepared for the rest of the year. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can go to simplertrading.com/election, get locked and loaded, learn these new strategies, get your chart set up correctly, and we'll be off to the races. All right, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.